Today on Spuds and Scones, we're making homemade salted caramel, and stick around for the secret ingredient that takes this over the top. All right, we've got a stick of butter here. Before that, whack on the heat here. Whoop. Now we're cooking with gas. All right, stick of butter goes in. This is going to be over a low heat to start with. We're just going to let that butter melt. And I'm using unsalted butter here. I use unsalted butter for all of my baking recipes because then you can control the level of the salt. So I always recommend unsalted butter. If you only have salted butter, totally fine. Just don't add any extra salt to your recipe. All right. To our 1 stick of melted butter here, we're going to add a 1/4 cup of light brown sugar. We do brown sugar here instead of white sugar. It adds that nice molasses flavor that we want and love so much about caramel. We're also going to add a 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk. This is a diet caramel. No, it's not. That looks great. Get that together. Keep that on the low heat here. Okay, we've got our light brown sugar in here, so make sure that's all incorporated with your sweetened condensed milk and your butter. Our next ingredient here is what I think makes this caramel incredible. It's our secret ingredient. This is golden syrup. Normally I would say that you can substitute, but it's just so much more authentic than something like a corn syrup. So I would say for sure invest in this. You can also use it on pancakes. I think people in England where this is from put on oatmeal pancakes. So if you do get this and you're not sure what else to use it for that. So we're going to do 2 tablespoons of that. It's a bit sticky. And how I would explain golden syrup, it's a cross between like a corn syrup and a maple syrup, I'd say. It's unique, it's delicious. Invest in it. All right, that's 1. And then we're going to do 2. Just make sure that's level here. You want to make sure proportions are just right because we're baking, very scientific. And just like that, it's coming right together. Okay. Perfect. Get it all incorporated. And then for about 5 to 6 minutes, we just want to whack up the heat a little bit. I would just say the medium, about 5 here on our gas stove. Now you want to make sure you watch it. You stir it nice and frequently. All right. And as it comes together here, you want to do that frequent stir. If you leave it, you might start seeing the brown bits of the brown sugar stick to the bottom. So just keep her rolling. It's been about 5 minutes here. So it's coming together like a Beatles tune. That's for the Beatles fans out there. Perfect. And if you find that it's starting to scorch a little bit, just turn the heat down a little bit. You might find that throughout the 5 minutes, you might have to fluctuate it a bit. That's totally fine. Just keep an eye on it and your caramel will be just fine. Now what you want to look for here is for your caramel when you run your spatula through it here. It's going to just take a couple seconds to kind of start coming together and bringing back. See that right there? Perfect. You can start to see bubbles form as well. So that looks just about perfect. All right. So what we're going to do here, make sure we turn off the heat. And we're going to add our pure vanilla extract here. So a teaspoon of that. All right. Teaspoon and a little extra vanilla never hurt anybody. All right. And then we're just going to stir it here. I'm going to tilt this a little bit just to really make sure it's off the heat. Make sure we've got our spatula moving everything through so caramel is not stuck on the pan at all. And just like that, our caramel has come together beautifully. So let's see right here. I'll show you how it looks. Just thick enough. It'll thicken up again once it starts to cool. But you've got that smooth, creamy caramel there. And in just under 6 minutes, we have amazing salted caramel. Now it's not salted yet. If you don't have a painter's bucket of Maldon salt, I don't know why you would, just me. I love Maldon salt. Maldon salt is a finishing sea salt, so unlike a table salt where you'd be using that in cooking where you want it to melt into something, or a kosher salt, this has got that kind of like flaky, minerally taste. It's just the best sea salt ever. So we're just going to add a generous pinch of that into the caramel. Fold her in. Got a glass dish here, or anything that you can put in the fridge. We're going to put our caramel in here. Whoop. Oh yeah, look at that. It's exactly the consistency you want. Just like that. This will be great in the fridge for a week. I wouldn't recommend freezing it, and honestly, it's probably not even going to last a week. I think 3 days tops in our house is what we've gotten it to. And if you like this recipe, be sure to check out our other video, which is our apple crumble tray bake, which is just top notch if you add some salted caramel on top of it. So there you go. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you in the next video.